Hi students, welcome to this class. In your fourth semester, second paper, you have drug synthesis and mechanism of action. Under that paper, you have 4 units. The first unit is drugs acting on metabolic processes, and the second unit is drugs acting on genetic material and specific enzymes. The third unit is drugs acting on receptors and ion channels. The fourth unit is chiral drugs. Okay, so this paper is very important for you to learn, because so whatever you learn till now, so you are going to apply that knowledge in this paper. Okay, so it's purely application type of chemistry. Okay, so whatever the chemistry structures and the synthesis and the techniques you have learned till now, so how they can be applied for different areas. Okay, like medicine, how to produce medicines, like drug synthesis and mechanism of action. Okay, so how you're going to synthesize some drugs. So you will be given some examples, synthetic examples of some drugs, important drugs, and also how the drug can interact with macromolecular target in the body, and how it produces pharmacological effects in the body. Okay, so those are the important things you are going to learn in this paper. Okay, so therefore I suggest you to concentrate more on this paper to understand the concepts, so especially about the drug and how it interacts with the target and how it produces pharmacological effects. Okay, so the paper name is drug synthesis and mechanism of action. So what is drug? The first you need to understand the concept about drug. Okay, drug is a chemical substance. That interacts with macromolecular targets in the body and produces pharmacological effects. Okay, 3 things you need to learn about drug. It's a chemical substance. It interacts with macromolecular targets in the body and produces pharmacological effects in the body. So that is the result, the final result of that drug. Okay, chemical substance, you know about some structures of drug. Say for example, I'll write one structure. So this is the aspirin drug. Okay, O-acetyl salicylic acid. So it is a chemical substance. Okay, so this drug interacts with macromolecular targets in the body. So that means in the case of aspirin, it interacts with cyclooxygenase. So this is one of the enzyme, and this cyclooxygenase, it interacts with this cyclooxygenase and decreases the production of prostaglandins and thromboxanes. Thus, the final ultimate result of pharmacological effect of this drug, thus relieve from pain, fever, and inflammation. Okay, so this is the best example you can understand. Drug is a chemical substance that interacts with macromolecular targets in the body and produces pharmacological effects or biological effects. Okay, so the best example is aspirin. So O-acetyl salicylic acid, aspirin, this is a drug. So this interacts with cyclooxygenase, which is an enzyme. Okay, so once it bind with this cyclooxygenase and it inhibits the function of cyclooxygenase, so that's why finally it decreases the production of prostaglandins and thromboxanes. Okay, thus because of that biological reactions and functions, it relieves from pain, fever, and inflammation. So this is the pharmacological effect. Okay, it is a chemical substance, so it interacts with macromolecular targets, means cyclooxygenase, an enzyme, and it relieves from the pain, fever, and inflammation. This is the pharmacological effects. Okay, so this is about the clear definition and example of a drug. Okay, so you are going to learn some important drugs in this paper. Okay, so you are going to learn some important drugs in this paper. Okay, and what about mechanism? You know about synthesis. Synthesis means the process of preparing some important biologically active compounds. Okay, so it has some steps in synthesis, and finally you will get the target molecule in synthesis. Synthesis is nothing but preparation of a drug. Okay, it may have 2 steps or 3 steps or multi steps. Okay, so that is about synthesis. Mechanism of action. So mechanism of action means how it reaches the target and how it interacts with the target and how it inhibits the function of a specific target. Okay, all those details you are going to learn in this paper. Okay, so you are going to learn in this paper. So I already mentioned about example of aspirin. Okay, so that drug interacts with cyclooxygenase, an enzyme. Okay, and it binds to that enzyme and it stops the production of prostaglandins and thromboxanes. Thus, finally, give relief from pain and fever and inflammation. Okay, so this is about briefly about drug synthesis and mechanism of action. Okay, so in this paper, first unit you are going to learn is drugs acting on metabolic processes. Drugs acting on metabolic processes. Metabolic processes. Okay, so based on the targets, drugs can be classified into several types. Okay, drugs acting on metabolic processes, drugs acting on genetic material and specific enzymes, and drugs acting on receptors and ion channels, drugs, okay, and different targets. Based on the target, so the drugs can be classified. So this is the best classification of drugs. Okay, so far. So in the olden days, they used to classify drugs on different factors. Okay, based on chemical structures, based on some reactions. Okay, but this is the best classification of drugs. Okay, based on the target molecule. Okay, so so these are the drugs uh, which I am going to explain you based on the which can target the metabolic processes in the body. Okay, these drugs act on the metabolic processes. Okay, what is metabolic processes? Okay, let me define you, or let me simplify you. Metabolism. What is metabolism? Metabolism is a series of biochemical reactions biochemical reactions biochemical reactions that takes place in a living cell for its existence Okay, metabolism is a series of biochemical reactions that takes place in a living cell for its existence. Okay, so simply I can tell you metabolic processes. What metabolic process can do? Metabolic process. So metabolic process helps in growth and reproduction in reproduction in growth and reproduction and development of cell. Okay, so for energy, getting energy, all these things. Okay, so in a living cell Okay, in a living cell. Okay, so metabolic process helps in growth and reproduction and in development and to get energy in a living cell. Okay, so therefore, so whatever the metabolic process takes place in microorganisms like bacteria also. So there are metabolic processes in bacteria in that bacterial cell. Okay, so that metabolic processes helps in bacterial growth and reproduction and synthesizing the important cell structures, all those things, and also it releases energy in a living cell. So those are the things happen in metabolic processes. Okay, so therefore these drugs can interact with metabolic processes in organisms, whatever takes place in a bacterial cell. So these drugs can go and target those metabolic processes and stops that metabolic processes, finally stops the growth and the reproduction of bacteria. Therefore, so these drugs can be act as antibiotics. Okay, these drugs can act as antibiotics. So this is about a brief introduction of drugs acting on metabolic processes. Okay, so before I explain clearly about these examples and drugs, let me give you some macromolecular targets. Macromolecular targets. So what are the macromolecular targets? Okay, so macromolecular targets means a very large molecule. A very large molecule. A very large molecule. Actually, it's a polymer of smallest subunits. It's a polymer of smallest subunits. For example, protein. Let me take you let me take this example, protein. Protein is a very long chain. Okay, so for example, um, I'll give you titin. Titin, it is one of the protein, okay, which contains about 25,000 to 27,000 to 35,000 amino acid units. Amino acid units. Okay, so that means in titin protein, this is the largest protein in the body, which contains about 27,000 to 35,000 amino acids. Okay, chain linkage. Okay, so that means proteins are nothing but polymer of amino acids. So that means, so there are common 20 amino acids. Okay, there are about 20 common amino acids like glycine, okay, leucine, isoleucine, like that. 20 common amino acids which link together through peptide bond. Actually, amino acid represents the structure of amino acid is like this. So it has central carbon and R group and acidic group. Okay, so this is amino acid structure. So it has central carbon, it has left amino group and carboxylic group and one hydrogen group and different R groups. Okay, R groups may be variant different R groups. Okay, it may be hydrogen or maybe CH3 or isoprofile. Okay, so or indole, like that. Okay, different heterocyclic compounds. So different R groups. Okay, so the only change of amino acids, 20 amino acids, common 20 amino acids, the only change is in R group. Okay, so the remaining groups are same in all amino acids. Okay, so these amino acids, single amino acids, are the smallest subunit linked together through peptide bond and forms polypeptides. Okay, forms polymer or polypeptide compounds. Okay, so I'll write the structure of peptide bond. Okay, so this is a R, let me C double bond O and NH, C H R prime and C double bond O CH OH. So this is the dimer. Okay, this is the dimer and this is called peptide bond. Okay, so this is called peptide bond. Okay, so the bond between carboxylic acid and amine, okay, takes place. This is called peptide bond. So this is one amino acid, this is another amino acid. Okay, the only difference of these two amino acids, the R group. Okay, in this case it may be CH3, in this case it may be the different R group. Okay, so this is the example of peptide bond. So how amino acids bond together and forms polymer. Okay, like this you can write the structure is like this: CH R and C double bond O, NH, CH, R prime, and continues like this. So if I keep N, okay, so this is the polymer of amino acids. Okay, so it can be considered as primary structure of protein. Okay, primary structure of protein is the long chain of amino acids. Okay, the linkage between amino acids, and it forms long chain, and in between it forms peptide bonds. So that is called primary structure of protein. Okay, so there are primary structure of protein and secondary structure of protein, tertiary structure of protein, and quaternary structure of proteins, right? So in quaternary structure of protein, so you have the final protein structure. Okay, so three-dimensional structures you have. Okay, so therefore, so if you take about proteins are made up of with amino acids. Okay, so proteins are combination of different amino acids through peptide bonds. Okay, and amino acid structure, it contains central carbon atom and NH2 group and COOH group and hydrogen and R group, which is variant. Okay, which is variant in different amino acids. So common amino acids are they have only difference in their R functional group. Okay, R group. Okay, so this is about proteins, the basic structure of proteins. Okay, so proteins, what are the examples of proteins? Proteins may be enzymes and receptors and transport proteins and okay, etc. Like hormones and all those things will come, but basically and majority, so you will study about these things. These are all proteins. Okay, so the only difference is their amino acid sequence, the sequence of amino acids and the number of amino acids in their chains. Okay, so but also they have different functions. Okay, they have different functions. Enzymes have different function, and receptors have different function, and transport proteins have different functions. Okay, so as I said you, the first example about aspirin interacts with cyclooxygenase. Cyclooxygenase is nothing but an enzyme. Okay, so receptors and transport proteins also you are going to study in the later classes of me. Okay, so this is about proteins. So actually if you want to understand about enzymes, so enzymes, suppose I'll so this is an enzyme. Think this is an enzyme. Okay, so it has a cavity like this. It has a cavity in its center. Okay, which insert into the middle of that, and this is the cavity. So this is called as active site of an enzyme. Active site of enzyme. What is the meaning of active site of an enzyme? So that means the drugs interacts with the enzymes. How they interact with the enzymes? Through their active site. Okay, the drug should go and fit into the active site, and it interacts with the functional groups projected in that cavity. Okay, so in this cavity the functional groups projected in enzyme. Okay, so therefore the drug will come and insert or fit into this active site, and it interacts with these functional groups which are projected outside in that active site of an enzyme. Okay, so therefore I will draw the diagram so that you will understand very well about enzymes. Okay, suppose you have an enzyme like this. Okay, and this is about substrate or drug. Okay, so this is a drug or substrate. Okay, so this is enzyme, and it interacts with that active site. Okay, so what happened in the next step? It comes and interact with that active site. In the next step, so there is a change of complete insertion, and finally enzyme will produce its original state and different products. Okay, so this is the product. Okay, so you observe that here all I kept as reversible reactions. Okay, so reversible reactions, so that means enzymatic reactions are reversible. Okay, reversible reactions. Okay, so that means the reaction can proceed forward, and at the same time that reaction can also come backside. So enzyme that has that ability. Okay, all the enzymatic reactions are reversible reactions. Okay, reversible reactions. Okay, so initially, so this is the enzyme and this is the substrate, and those two can come together because enzyme provides the active site to the substrate. That substrate, the similar shape of the substrate will the similar shape of substrate with the enzyme active site will come and fit into that active site, and once it fit into that active site, it interacts with the functional groups which are projected outside in the active site of that enzyme. Okay, and finally after the interaction, after the biochemical reaction takes place, so it produces enzyme. It's in original state, and this is product. Okay, so enzymatic reactions are uh, very fast. Okay, very fast. Why enzymatic reactions are very fast? Because it decreases activation energy of transition state. Okay, so it decreases the activation energy of transition state, therefore it enhances the rate of the reaction. Okay, enzyme act as a catalyst. It is a enzyme act as a biochemical catalyst. Enzyme act as a biochemical catalyst. Okay, and let me give you some important inputs about enzyme. Okay, biocatalyst catalyst. Enzyme can be considered as biocatalyst. Okay, so that means it decreases the uh, activation energy, therefore enhance the rate of the reaction. Rate of the reaction. It enhances the rate of the reaction, and it decreases the activation energy of the transition state and um, produces stereospecific compounds. So finally, enzyme come back to its original state. Without any change. So these are the important points about enzymes. Okay, enzyme is a biocatalyst. It acts as a biocatalyst. That means so it participates in biochemical reactions which are happen in the living organisms, and the greatest function of that enzyme is, okay, it enhances the rate of the reaction. Okay, it enhances the rate of the reaction. It's very fast. Why it enhances the rate of the reaction? Because it decreases the activation energy of the transition state of that reaction. Okay, and other speciality about enzymatic reaction, it produces stereospecific compounds. Okay, selectively it produces stereospecific compounds, and finally after the completion of the reaction, it come back to its original state without any change in structure. Okay, so enzymes can involve in the mechanism of that reaction, but it does not change any its structure. Okay, it does not change any its structure. Okay, it involves in the mechanism of the reaction, but it does not change any of its structure. So finally, after the completion of the reaction, it comes its original state. Okay, so that is the speciality about the enzymatic reactions and enzyme. Okay, so therefore some drugs can be designed based on the enzyme, suppose as a target as an enzyme. Okay, so okay, I want to show you as a diagram of enzymatic reactions. Suppose, so this is the graph of a reaction. It is energy, activation energy, and so suppose this is the starting material, and this is the product, and it forms like this. Okay, so this is the transition state, and this energy is called activation energy. Okay, so this activation energy is like this. This is without enzyme presence. Without an enzyme, suppose with an enzyme, so this is the starting material SM, and this is the product, and okay, so this is the transition state, this is the transition state, and the activation energy is less. Okay, activation energy. Okay, so is the presence of enzyme, presence of enzyme or enzymatic reaction. Enzymatic reaction is the without enzyme. Okay, so the difference between the starting material and the transition state, the gap between these two levels is activation energy. So without enzyme, that activation energy is more. Okay, in the presence of enzymatic reactions, enzyme, the activation energy decreases so that it is very less, so therefore the rate of the reaction increases, the rate of the reaction increases. Okay, so that's this is the reason why enzyme, how they enhance the rate of the reaction, because it decreases the activation energy of that particular intermediate or transition state. Okay, so and next, what kind of interactions takes place between target molecule and the drug. Okay, what kind of interactions, kind of interactions, kind of interactions, interactions takes place between the drug, between the drug and target molecule, target molecule. So there may be electrostatic interactions, electrostatic interactions, electrostatic interactions. Okay, and okay, and hydrogen bonding, hydrogen bonding, and van der Waal interactions, van der Waal interactions, that means repulsions or attractions, and dipole-dipole interactions, dipole-dipole interactions, dipole-dipole interactions between dipole moments. Okay, and sometimes covalent interactions, covalent interactions between sulfur groups, disulfide groups. Okay, covalent interactions, and hydrophobic and hydrophilic hydrophobic interactions, hydrophobic interactions, hydrophobic interactions. So these are the kinds of interactions takes place between drug and target molecule. Okay, the drug bind to the target molecule, these kind of interactions or this kind of electronic interactions. Okay, electrostatic interactions, that may be ionic interactions. Okay, so in the active site of an enzyme or in the target molecule, in that active site, if it has any ions like cation, so if drug has an anion, so in between them, so electrostatic interactions take place, ionic interactions takes place, and hydrogen bonding takes place, hydrogen bonding between the most electronegative atom, the more electronegative atom, and the hydrogen attached to the more electronegative atom. Okay, so these kind of interactions also takes place between drug and target molecule. And van der Waal interactions, Van der Waals interactions may be repulsions and attractions. If the distance between the two atoms or groups, uh, if it is more than van der Waals radii, then van der Waals attractions takes place. If it is less than van der Waals radii, then the distance, then van der Waals repulsions takes place. And dipole-dipole interactions means, so they form partial dipole moments in that functional groups in between target molecule and the drug. So those two dipole moments can attract towards and takes place the, if they are opposite side dipole moments, then there will be attraction between them, dipole moments. And the covalent interactions, sometimes the permanent single bonds can form between the drug and the target molecule. And the hydrophobic interactions, so hydrophobic interactions can be taken place between the hydrophobic moieties and the target molecules. Okay, so these are the different types of interactions takes place between the drug and the target molecule. Okay, so therefore you need to understand about these kinds of interactions and target molecule. Okay, if you want to understand about drug acting, drug mechanism of action, so you need to learn about the target molecule structure. The structure of target molecule is very, very important. Okay, so what kind of structure, what kind of amino acid sequence is there, so what kind of functional groups projected in the active site. Okay, so you have to learn those things. And also you need to learn about different kinds of interactions: electrostatic interactions, hydrogen bonding, van der Waals interactions and dipole-dipole interactions, covalent interactions and hydrophobic interactions. If you know about how these interactions takes place, so what are the criteria required to take place these kind of interactions, you should know. Okay, so then you will understand clearly about the mechanism of action of drugs. Okay, so next next the target molecules or macromolecule targets. First you learned about macromolecular targets. Macromolecular targets, so I explained you about proteins. Proteins may be enzymes, receptors, or transport proteins. Okay, and the next one is amino acids, nucleic acids. Nucleic acids may be DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, RNA, ribonucleic acid. Okay, the third one is carbohydrates. Especially bacterial cell wall synthesis and cell wall structure, they have two types of carbohydrates. NAM means N-acetyl muramic acid. And NAG means N-acetyl glucosamine. Okay, these two kinds of carbohydrates exist in the cell wall structure of bacteria. So some drugs targets these carbohydrates. Okay, and sometimes lipids also become drug targets in some cases. Okay, so these are the macromolecular targets. They may be proteins or nucleic acids or carbohydrates and lipids. Okay, so these are all major targets for the majority of the drugs. Especially proteins are the major drug targets. Okay, so most of the drugs target proteins, maybe enzymes and receptors and transport proteins. Okay, so nucleic acids, some drugs will target nucleic acids, DNA and RNA. Okay, so you know about nucleic acids, deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, in nucleic acids you have what kind of bases, purines and pyrimidids, and what is the structure of N-acetyl acid and N-acetyl glucosamine, and what is the structure of lipids. Okay, so I'll explain you in the next class about these drug targets. Okay, so till now I explained you about the definition for drug, and about macromolecular targets and the pharmacological effects. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this class, and soon I'll upload the next classes. Okay, please be watch all the classes and get benefited. Thank you so much.